Alright folks, I'm going to do a quick chrome spray painting tutorial. I've been using chrome spray paint for a while, and usually it turns out pretty shit. But I've slowly gotten better a little over the years, so I'll give you little tips and tricks how to do it. Essentially I'm turning this faded bit into this. Again, you can buy new grills, they're just plastic, for about 80 bucks. But one, I don't want to spend 80 bucks, and all the new ones look like these kind of fast and furious fucking stupid shit, and I don't want that. I like the original. I just gotta make it nice, make it fresh. Not a whole ton of prep work needs to go into this, other than you can see around the GMC where the paint is kind of peeled like that. I'm gonna try to fill that. Use some fillable primer, just you have that small detail right there that you gotta be careful of. But the rest is pretty straightforward paint tutorial. The first, second, and third step is just cleaning it really well. Alright, the first part in cleaning it is really just soap and water. I just use Dawn dishwashing liquid. It cuts dirt and oil, which is really what you want off there. Then I just take a little toothbrush. You want to get up in all the little cracks and crevices. After I'm good and clean, I like to just take some 1000 grit sandpaper and just give it a little rub. Just roughen the surface just a little bit. Also, this is probably going to be super dumb, but we have all that orange peeling paint. I was going to try to use like a filler to bring it out, so I think once I put new paint on there it's going to be real obvious. But I think I'm going to try to hit it with like a 220 real fast, see if maybe I can just dull it down a little bit, so I don't have to try to use much of filler. I am not mad about that at all. I think that actually turned out really well. I thought that could have been a horrible mistake, but yeah, I think that was the way to go. Alright, so the final step in cleaning is taking some of this denatured alcohol to make sure for certain you got all the oil and whatever off of it. After I sanded it, I used soap and water again. Yeah, I'm wearing these sexy gloves not just because of the alcohol, but you have your fingertips have just a small amount of oil on them, and you don't want that on your plastic. You also want to make sure you get up in these little cracks real well. As this is the grill of a van, it's going to take a lot of abuse, so you want to make sure your first coat of primer bonds really well. You can see all the little dirt and such still in there. It's going to eat up all that old paint and grease. And while you're cleaning it, you want to feel for any little bumps. Just any little bumps and all that, you're going to see through the paint. And obviously, every time you sand, you got to go out and start again. Soap, water, and then denatured alcohol. Typically, I'd always say you want to work in a well-ventilated area, but the downside of working outside is the wind blows and little pieces of grass and nonsense get stuck in your paint, and then you got to pick it out and sand it out. So I'm just going to sit down here and just get high as fuck. Again, I've roughened up the surface, cleaned it up real well, and a good primer is going to give you the best chance that the paint's going to stay where you want it to stay. Alright, the trick is to just kind of dust it. You're not trying to finish it all in one go. You're going to put 2 coats of primer on. You let this first coat dry, check for any imperfections. This is the time to catch them. Patience is the key. Patience is a virtue. I'm going to hit this red off first. I'm not worried too much about the overage, which you will see why later. Well, that's drying. I'm going to go ahead and hit off these rims. When you're painting outside, I could take these tires off and take the rims off, but I'm too lazy to do that. But you want to respect the way the wind is blowing. It's blowing toward change, baby. Totally dry. I'm talking to myself, my YouTube people.
Huh?
I'm talking to myself in my tutorial video.
Oh, sorry. Did I interrupt you?
You're fine. This is how I'm going to make all my big money. This is how I pull in that extra $30 a month that I make. Alright, I'm actually switching gears. I changed my mind about how I'm going to do the GMC thing. I think I'm going to do it last. But also, this isn't a tutorial about painting red GMC things. It's about chrome spray paint, so I should focus on that. Alright, anyway, before I put this mask on, I found a good trick to getting the chrome spray paint to look like chrome is to do it with a gloss black first. Like if you spray paint, like you're making a mirror, they make mirror spray paint, but it's better if you mirror spray paint on a piece of glass and then black on the back side. It helps that mirror to kind of pop a little bit. And I noticed the same thing with chrome. I only want the chrome on the frame, not the grill part. So I'm masking this off. This actually takes forever, but not necessarily important for the sake of this tutorial. But I just want to show you how hard I work, really. I let this dry overnight just because I don't want it, when I pull the tape off, it'll pull the paint off, or it'll jack the paint up if you don't let it cure out fully. I actually forgot to film the first coat, or I thought I was filming, but I didn't hit record. The first two coats, you were just dusting it. You're barely touching it on there, and then you're doing 5 coats total. But the first coat's like you're almost not painting at all. First couple. That's after 3 coats. You can see it's already starting to come to life a little bit. That's it. Then you walk away. I give it about a half an hour, and then I come back. This little trim piece here is actual metal. I couldn't get it off the van without a big faff, so I just taped it off in place. But being that it's actual metal, not plastic, I'm using a filler primer. You get those at AutoZone, but it's kind of primer you can wet sand. It fills up little cracks and dings and dents like the kind that's on here from the rocks and road debris. Look how sexy that rim turned out. Nice. I mean, not bad, really. I got a couple spots here where a little bit with the tape got loose and then got a little overspray in there, but yeah, I think so far so good. Just gotta be gentle. Oh, that line looks nice. Alright, not bad. We got a few places we got to touch up, which I will show you how to do now. Alright, in order to fix it, little spots, I just take this.
Can you spray that on close?
Paint up in there. Well, I'm not mad about that. I think that turned out pretty good. There's a couple little dings that I need to fix. Anyway, I think it turned out pretty good. Like I said, there's just that one spot, that fingerprint, kind of buffed out all right. The other thing I forgot to tell you, I know this is a tutorial most people on my channel probably could not give a shit about, yeah, the chrome spray paint is a good choice for the you want to do a little hillbilly renovation to your vehicle. But the thing I forgot to tell you is, like, let's say you're doing plastic, find a little separate piece of plastic. If you're doing metal, separate piece of metal, and always be doing it on there as you're doing it on that, so you can kind of test that if it's dry. Maybe you want to put I don't recommend clear coating chrome spray paint. The kind, especially if you're doing like a spray, it sort of reacts to the chrome. Well, it's metallic, not chrome, but if you are going to do that kind of thing, always keep, while you're doing it, trying it on something else. That way you test it if it's dry, if it's too thick. The only trick to this, like I said, you can put on a lot of coats, just a lot of thin coats. Yeah, that's it. It's fucking hot.